When it comes to gardening and landscaping, there's lots of rewards for us, but there's lots of challenges as well. What materials can we use that look great and smart now, but will be timeless and look good in another generation? How do we plant? What do we put together? How much sun does it need? How much water? Do they look good together? Well, some of Australia's leading landscapers are the best in the world. So let's see what a mate of mine's doing in his backyard so we can apply it in ours. The man I'm talking about is Dean Harold. He's designed some of the best gardens in Oz. He's won gold at Chelsea and a heap at Mifkas. And the garden that surrounds his office, it is stunning. Mate, as far as offices go, this is pretty special.
Yeah, thanks. It's come up really well.
The staff must love it.
Yeah, look, I think workspaces, you've got to get that inspiration, especially in what we're doing from a landscape point of view. So, open up the door, look at nature. It's got to get you going when you're actually doing a great design. Yeah,
not the plumber who's got the leaky tap, that's for sure.
I'm not now, but I was.
Let's have a look. You start with a pretty natural, beautiful backdrop.
Yeah. Yeah, look, I'm pretty blessed here with the size of the established trees. It's a city in turpentine and ironbark area as well. So just that enormous scale is just so great to work with. And the contrast is great. Yeah, this is all about small and delicate elements, but it's just, look at the above canopy that just sits around us. And also actually just drops the architecture of the building down. The building doesn't really sit very high now when you're competing against the trees.
We don't all have that in our backyard, but it's important that you do look up and see what you can borrow in the landscape.
And there might be a tree across the, just on the neighbouring property, or it could be different assets around you. Just take note of that and actually design towards it.
And the next thing I noticed, and people would probably not do this, they've broken up their path with these steppers through it.
Yeah.
It's just another point of interest, so you're looking down as well as looking up.
Yeah, all those other elements. And even some of these stripes, some of these stripes start to represent the trunks of the trees, and you're just trying to borrow from those natural elements and just take them into this.
When people say, there's not enough flowers in the garden for me, which is a pretty easy thing to say, but there's 50 shades of green here.
That's right. This is not an enormous flowering garden. There is sort of different flowers that might come on the Raphiolepis and other things, and got some iris up the back through there, but it is a foliage colour garden, and I think that's a really interesting garden that people sometimes should look at. Because flowering gardens often, they're beautiful and they should be part of your palette, but they come and go where the colour contrast is there all year round. And it's also about clumping as well, so we just didn't do one of this and one of that, so there's might be 6 of those and 12 of those, and so I think that just helps people to not have a mix mash of plants. If you can do it in groups, that's a really good tip for people to actually take on.
Now I can see down here another room, outdoor room.
Yeah.
And it's very inviting, so I think we should have a look at it. And this is a beautiful space which would have been difficult to garden.
Yeah, look, obviously it's a shady space through here, so I really wanted to try and showcase that tree fern component. So I got cyatheas, which are native Australian through there, and the bletchmans underneath, which is the silver lady, and then down are these great cousinettes down the bottom, which are just creeping there. So it's all about those different heights in the plant material.
It's when people go and try and do this garden, and they do it once, say in 1995,
yeah,
and then never touch it again. Everything grows up,
yeah,
and it loses the level change, but you've got that perfect here.
Well, you really should be able to picture what all that's going to look like eventually. So everything should be sitting in the right spot so it can actually do its job, fill there then, do all those great levels, and it's just going to, it's going to grow to those elements.
Always a fan of a fire pit.
Right.
Now, this circle as a design feature is stunning, but what's underneath here?
Yeah, look, when we built the office, we're actually sitting on top of the water tank right now. What was a problem, because of its location, we just turned into this level of feature. So we paved the top, turned it into a fire space, and
curved the stairs, and curved the path.
All the way up through there, yeah, just to add that interest to be able to sort of wander through that garden. And look, it is taking these spaces and making them usable, and even to the point of actually doing the Corten steel fireplace, and then we invented the railing and designed the railing to go around here so we don't fall off the water tank.
I love a fire pit.
Yeah, I'm pretty crazy for them myself. The best part about a fire pit, we can sit here and actually have a proper conversation and be able to get to know people and actually understand what's going on in their life. And that's what outdoor design should be about, bringing people together, providing a space where you can actually connect with friends and family.
And I know people crave no maintenance, which is near impossible, but that is relatively low maintenance, isn't it?
Yeah, look, it is. I mean, obviously we've got a little bit of trimming seasonally with the Buxus ball and a few of the other elements through there, but fundamentally we've tried to use a plant palette that is fairly well low maintenance, and also just as the plants, they just bleed on the edges through there, so there's not, you know, we don't have to be perfect on those edges. I love the unevenness of how the plant material plays with all the hardscape through there. And it's okay, everything doesn't have to be perfect. And I guess, look at your setting here in this bush setting. I mean, I've got to deal with all the gum leaves falling and sticks and branches, so, you know, we don't want, this is not a delicate garden. This is a garden that's actually got a lot of interesting elements that can, you know, just afford to be able to handle the conditions that they're in.